Hi folks, I'm Mike and I hope you're well. Welcome back to Fix My Mix, episode number 23. Amazing. It's amazing that we've come this far together. This show, of course, is the show where we will be listening to mixes from the community in an effort to exercise our ears, our critical thinking, and to help the people out who are sending their mixes in to get them closer to release. Got to say a big thank you to the sponsor of the show, who is DistroKid. If you follow the link in the description for DistroKid, you will get a little discount off of the price of signing up. I'll get a little kickback for that as well. Thank you very much in advance. And you will get your music out to the world, the universe. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they've got Spotify on Mars or something. I'm talking rubbish already. It must be something to do with the guest that I've got on the show today. He is back like a balmy boomerang. Pete Johns is here on the show. There he is. Yay.
I think they have Spotify on Mars. I think it's Tidal, but no one listens to it, so no one knows. Oh, burn! That Tidal sponsorship just went down the tube. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Talking about sponsorships, you must be feeling very sponsored today, like an AA meeting or something.
I know it's that thing where you turn on the thing. It's like, who's sponsoring me today? And I'll just look at the top of the screen and find out.
It was Band Lab about 5 minutes ago. It's DistroKid now. It's going to be some one of those games, isn't it? One of those mobile games next week. Have you got the email?
Rage Shadow. Is it Rage or Rage Shadow Legends? Yeah. Oh mate, I can't even. I get 2 minutes into a video and they're like, but before we give you the information, we just got to thank Rage Shadow. There's new champions, and I'm just like, I could not care less, and I click off. So no, the chances of me being sponsored by a mobile game fairly slim.
You click off.
I click off.
That's whoa.
Yeah.
No, just click off, eh? Just click off.
That's just click right off. No, I have very low tolerance for do an ad, but do an ad that's relevant. If I'm watching a video about how to tune a guitar, and suddenly I'm being told to play a mobile game with microtransactions that are going to nickel and dime me, I'm going to pass. I'm going to find a different video.
Yeah,
so that's it. But each to their own. Some people probably don't care, and that's fine too.
Well, I don't care that they don't care.
We go off on tangents so quickly. We should probably listen to music at some stage.
Look, let's say hi to some people who are here.
Very good idea.
You probably know some of them. Let's say hi to Happy Ron here for a start. Two great tastes that taste great together. Makes us sound like some sort of sauce or something. Anyway, here we go. Oh, yes, that reminds me. Jingles need vocal harmony. Just saying. Jingles.
Mm.
Pete, I've created a monster, and nobody wants to see monsters no more.
No.
What do they want?
They want jingles? I don't know.
Yes. So look, I don't need much encouragement. A few people, I think, could take or leave the jingles, but one person said they like it, and I'm all in because one person said they like it.
You're just lazy. You don't want to make any new DistroKid videos, so you're just like, I'll just do it on the fly. Why not?
So look, folks, I'll pop this up on the screen. I've got tickers. Right. This is. Give us a key and a random word for our improvised DistroKid jingle, folks.
That's pretty cool.
That would be helpful to us. I'm just asking in advance today. You got your guitar ready, have you, Pete?
You've
got.
I was going to try some keys today. I thought we would do something a little bit different. So
awesome. I want the key. I want the key signature to be E flat then.
No.
You're just going
to... There's an E flat. That's all I know.
Just use the transpose button on the keyboard. That's what I do every time. Yes. That's good stuff. And nice to see Jade Starr in here as well. Hi, Jade. I don't know. It's not coming up. I'm clicking on it.
Click it.
I'm doing it.
Good thing you're not sponsored by Restream. Jeez. All
right. We should get on with this quickly. Doug is here. Thank you, Doug, for being here. One of our moderators in here. Nice to see Thomas Christian here is one of your moderators, Pete, and always a good contributor to your channel, I see. And, of course, Mimo Japan.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a show without Mimo.
Yeah. Now, I met one of our moderators this week, a few days ago.
Saw that. Yeah. The lovely Kiara.
Yeah. We hung out. I went to her house. Pete, this isn't something you'd understand because it's to do with woodwork and things. But manual things, right?
No,
But
no idea.
yes. Anyway, so went round there, and the desk was being put together at the time, which was based upon my plans. It's a bit scary because my plans for my desk were never really intended to help other people build a desk. And there was an actual workman who had been following them, and I was like, oh no, I'm sure I didn't check all the measurements.
Jeez. Okay.
There was actually a little mishap with it while I was there as well.
Oh,
funny enough. I thought,
and you had to
no,
fix it.
I think I lent a little helping hand. Anyway, Kianra's getting her studio together. She's watching all the channels, right? All the channels. She's watching my channel, your channel, Dan, Ed, Marlon, others, lots of others, right?
Yep.
She's
That's
gathering all the information. So if she doesn't produce a hit song out of it, it's our fault.
It is good. You can either have responsibility if it goes well, or you take the blame if it doesn't. So as the artist, you can thank us if it works, or you can curse us if it doesn't. Simple.
Hey, I've just seen someone in the chat. I think they may have one of my favourite usernames of all time, and they're from Hawaii. Toto's Life, Toto Chicken. Is that one of your fans, or
no? I've never seen that, but I love that name. That's only second to Secondhand Watermelon as my favourite new screen name that I've seen in the last few weeks. Toto's Life, Toto Chicken, and it's a picture of a Chihuahua. So if you're confused, is Toto a dog or a chicken? Is it about his life? Does he like to eat chicken? There's more questions than answers.
Is that a Chihuahua? I thought it was a kangaroo with lazy ears.
Oh, it could be too. I don't know, Chihuahua or kangaroo. But make your vote here in the chat. Chihuahua or kangaroo? Who's right?
Let us know, Toto.
Yes. It's going to be one of those shows.
So, folks, we haven't seen any key signatures or any... Look, what I want for lyric suggestions as well is just random words, okay? In fact, let's just... look, we've got a big moose. I don't know...
Big moose or big mouse?
Is it a big moose or a big mouse? Just a mouse. Suddenly my dyslexia kicked in. All right, I'm just going to make a note here. Lyrics later on. A big mouse.
A big mouse.
I think we should have a rule that we can't rhyme that with house.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm going to start thinking now. I'm
going
to have to use my nous to find another word.
All right, and we've got a key signature of C minor there. Thank you from Dino. Oh, lovely. Ooh. Gets a bit dark, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, we've got a G minor there as well, but we might do that for the second jingle. All right, a big mouse, C minor. I think we need one more lyric. Because for some reason, Mimo said Santa Claus. It's not Santa Claus, Mimo. We can't. Santa Claus?
Yeah, we have to start doing accents, and I've been banned from accents and voices, so you can't do. If you want to get a mouse, you need to talk to Santa Claus.
Tell me about getting banned with accents. What went on there? Tell me about that.
Oh no, I there's a wonderful gent who you've had on the show, and his name's Patrick from the GarageBand Guide.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I may have a couple of times attempted to impersonate Patrick, and
you've done some Scottish.
I've tried to do some Scottish, but I don't do it well. So the joke is now that as soon as I do an accent, I'm just like, oh, hang on, it's my lawyer. He's told me that I'm being sued again for terrible accents because I'm really bad at them.
I was involved in a little chat on the GarageBand forum this week on Facebook. Yes, nice. I'm a member over there. I'm a member. Yeah. Even though I've used GarageBand exactly 3 times.
I'm a member of the Cakewalk group, and I've not touched Cakewalk in 10 years, so it's all swings and roundabouts, mate.
You're a member of the best Cakewalk group. It's not.
I thought it was the only Cakewalk group. I thought you'd crushed all other comers. That's what word on the street.
Did you say comers? Okay, let's move on to the first. Let's move on to the first song.
Well, I've got a stuck note. Hang on, I'm gonna get rid of that.
Oh, hey, your stuck note just went into one of my ears, not the other. What's going on there?
That's very weird.
The first song is from a regular, actually, on the show. Where are we? This is going under the name of House Merlot. The song is called I See You Delirium. But actually, the creator of this is a chap called Dennis Baptista, who we see sometimes in the chat. He said, I'm submitting this recent recording because I actually like this one. It's the first mix I've done that seems to come off. Hang on. Seems to come off on tiny cell phone speakers, car stereos, and big home systems with subwoofers equally well. He's built it up a little bit here, isn't he?
What are we fixing about this mix?
It's
Sounds
better
like
to set expectations low, Dennis. I'm saying that's the psychology is not. Anyway, he says, and he's hoping you guys can help me with some constructive criticism for moving forward from here. Well, first of all, constructive criticism: set expectations low. Okay, in life. Not just with music, in life. The song
Mike's been telling his wife that for years.
The song is 100% MIDI. 5 tracks of free VSTs. I like this. Now the psychology is going the other way, you see. There's a bit of reverse psychology because everyone's going, oh, he's used free MIDI VSTs. It must be rubbish. Number 1, he used Spitfire Quiet. Number 2, he used Ample Guitar M Lite. Oh, that's a bit of an old classic seen on my channel many times. 3, Keyzone Classic Piano. Another one, he must have been watching my channel. Number 4, Ample Bass P Lite. You can't really go wrong with that, in my opinion. And number 5, VR08, Virtual TR808. I don't know that one. And it was mixed on a pair of Yamaha H5s that I found at a yard sale for $20. It was mastered with the free.
Score.
It was mastered with the free BandLab app. Absolutely. So basically, in the spirit of home recording, Dennis has used cheap gear here and free plugins. Let's have a listen and see what we can make of this and see if we can help him out with the mix. Short and sweet. Oh, I almost
Short,
put it on
sharp,
twice
and
then.
shiny.
Yeah, that was a bit of delirium going on. That had the feel of the title, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it was very
swimming
mysterious.
around there,
Yeah.
Swimming around there. So,
Nice.
what do you reckon, Pete? I'll let you go first. You're the guest.
Yeah, so it was. I only had about 5 notes because it was over before I was just getting into it, and just starting to listen. But overall, I mean, I'm a sucker for a cool chord progression. I love a cool jazzy chord progression with a little bit of minor and maybe some 7th chords and stuff in there. So yeah, really dug the chord progression. Liked the jazzy, swingy kind of nature of it. So yeah, really interesting. It had a bit of a Muzak quality, and I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment, but it sounded a little bit like the sort of music you'd hear in an elevator in David Jones in the 1990s. If you were like out shopping, David Jones, the department store, by the way. J.C. Penney would be a good translation, maybe. And I don't mean that as an insult, but an instrumental song like that, or it almost sounded a bit like a video game. Did you play a lot of those LucasArts video games like
Yes.
Monkey Island and those sort of games back in the day? And I think that was mostly the MIDI instrument. So in terms of not criticism, but in terms of things that I think stood out to me, it did sound all a little bit artificial, and I don't know whether that was the choice of instruments or whether it was everything seemed very on the grid. There didn't seem to be any human element. And I think for a track like that, that's trying to swing, it's almost like it felt like it was trying to swing, but it wasn't quite swinging because everything seemed very lined up on the grid. And if that's the effect you're going for, success. But I think sometimes when you're using a lot of virtual instruments, the tendency is that you end up with something that sounds too robotic and too precise, and sometimes adding in, and I don't know, in Cakewalk, I'm sure that the quantization has some humanization or some slipperiness that you can throw in there. Something like that I think would really work. And the drums. The drums just did the same thing the whole way through. And again, it was kind of like you got an organ from the 1970s, hit the bossa nova button, and then just let it play. Which again might sound harsh, but I actually like that. There's a lot of good songs that actually use a very basic drum section. But for this song, I would have loved to have heard some like swinging brush kit style drums, some real jazzy, like
An 808's an odd choice for this style of music.
It stood out a little bit, I think. Yeah. So
and an odd choice would be sort of, to me, it's like if it's going to be an odd choice for the genre of music, it needs to be kind of very obviously odd, if you know what I mean. Like, you're trying to push the boundaries with a new sort of blended genre. I want to address something here, which was sort of fairly obvious to me right off. Thanks for your input, by the way, Pete. I think I agree with you on everything there. I think I'm familiar with most of these instruments, okay? The one of them is the one I'm not is the VR8, the 808 emulator there. The rest of them I'm very familiar with. I know they can all sound really human. They're all capable of that. But there needs to be some care put in to make that happen. It's mostly in the performance. The one thing I'll pick up on, and I'm going to just play the beginning of the track again, is the acoustic guitar. This is Ample Sound's acoustic guitar. We have to do that whole thing again, unfortunately. Right, so what it sounds like, all that guitar, sounds like this. Very like hard attack.
Yep.
And what happens is with a lot of those, with Ample Sound's acoustic guitars, if you do the velocity like really, really hard, it'll have that snapping sound as if someone's actually pulled the string rather than just play it normally. So I think this track would actually be improved enormously if you address that issue, Dennis. I would start off by grabbing all of your velocities and dragging them down a bit uniformly to get rid of that, unless you want that snappy string sound. And I don't know if you should want that. So I do that, and I don't know if there was much. There was probably not. Mimo's just said no dynamics in it. Yeah, there was no dynamics in that guitar part as well. And to make virtual acoustic guitars sound like real acoustic guitars or close to it, you definitely need to use a lot of variation in velocities, as you do with drums as well, as Pete was saying there. So the key is variation in timing and velocity a lot of the time, as well as playing within the limits of the actual instrument that the virtual instrument's based upon. Pete, you look like you're about to say something.
No, I'm just, I'm agreeing with you. And I'm thinking it through. I'm trying to think, how would you sum that up? Because I don't want us to come across as like super harsh, because I think the good thing about that song is that it has a really good basis. Like, it's not a terrible song. It's just got some, it's a really good chord progression. It's a really cool jazzy number. And it just, it needs some help. And I guess in terms of the mixing, it's more, like you say, it's more the application of the instrumentation and the quantization. Well, that's a lot of Asian words. But less artificial sounding instruments, more variety, and it all comes down to dynamics. We need some louds and some softs. And the 808 didn't do it for me. I want a jazzy drum kit playing along with that. I think that alone would improve it about 20% straight off the bat.
Okay. Konnichiwa. There's another Asian word. Just had to get this. I've been waiting to say that the whole time you've been talking.
Konnichiwa.
That's a dad's joke. Anyway, the thing I did want to address though before we finish on this one is the actual the balance of the mix. It's pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. So in terms of the reason we're here, the mix itself, I didn't have too much of an issue with it. Both, and when we talk about the mix, I'm talking about levels primarily. Maybe that guitar was a little bit loud, but I think when you address the velocity things and it's not quite so harsh sounding, it won't sound like it's too loud then as well. I actually think the volume of it was fine, and the frequency across the board. I felt this was a good mix. There was nothing stood out to me as too bassy or too trebly or anything like that.
Yeah, I think the only thing was the treble sound of that guitar, because it was that plucking sound that was a little bit grating. But yeah, everything else sort of sat nicely, and the 808s at the bottom end. So yeah, if you swapped out the 808s and if you reduce that plucking, because everyone needs a little bit less plucking, then I think you'd be fine.
Do they really? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I could play a little pre-made video now about the wonders of DistroKid, our sponsor.
So wonderful.
And they are wonderful. Me and Pete use them. I think all the guests on the show use them, and I think a large part of the community seems to use DistroKid now. And that's because they get the job done pretty well, don't they, Pete? Maybe that could be the theme of our first jingle, getting the job done well.
The job done well.
Yeah. All right, it's got to be in C minor.
All right.
And we've got to get a big mouse in there. Let's work on this.
Okay.
Do you think can we be in sync?
I don't know. Is it worth trying?
It feels like we are. Can we just click our fingers together? Can you click your fingers? Is that a skill you have?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
1.
No,
2,
we're
3,
not in sync at all.
4,
What's going on there?
1,
2, 3.
3.
No.
4.
No, we're not in sync.
There's a delay. There's always going to be a lag. So it's going to be a cuff.
So I think what we'll have to do then is you take the first jingle, I'll take the second jingle. Okay.
Oh, so I have the C minor. Okay. All right. I've got that stuck here again.
Delirium.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So what do I have to do? It's got to be a mouse.
You've got to get a big mouse in there.
A big mouse. And what else did you say? You said something else just before that.
Oh, yeah. Forgotten. The wonders of DistroKid.
Wonders of DistroKid. Wonders of DistroKid, big mouse. And can you hear my keys coming through there?
Yeah, it's beautiful. The mix is beautiful, man.
Nice. All right, I'll give you a little bit of reverb too.
Yeah. Hey.
A little bit of verb up there. Ba, ba, ba. When you live in a house, no, it couldn't be a house, and you have lots of nous, and you want to release a song on all of the places, the one place to go when you've got not much dough for just $19.99 per year. If you've got a lot of nous, DistroKid is really grouse. They can release to every platform in the world. That's all I got.
I'm going to take away marks for using house.
I know. Right? I lost it.
But I'm adding marks. Nouse was too obvious as well, really, to be honest. But grouse. I'm adding grouse was good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I know. I didn't have an ending though. I couldn't finish it.
No, I'm going to add some more points in though, because I thought it was only going to be a 2-chord progression. I thought he's gone only 2. But you added a third in towards the end, but you didn't finish cadence at the end.
I know. I left it hanging. I did the the high school debate team thing where it's just like blah blah blah, and that's it. Walk off. No closing arguments there. Just that's it. Goodbye.
Good stuff. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, no. Sure. I'm glad it's out of the way. Like, that's always the most nerve-wracking thing. When Mike's like, you want to come on the show? I'm just like, got to do a jingle song now, and it's not going to be good. That's all right. Mike can do the next one, and G flat major would be a great one.
I think somebody said G, didn't they?
I'm
sure someone said G.
G minor. So it's going to be very sad today. I don't know how many jingles are actually written in minor keys, by the way, just quietly.
I know. I'm not sure DistroKid are going to thank us.
They're just like, oh, this sounds very dreary. Well, that's one job.
Research shows we've had a lot of sad customers sign up recently.
Yeah, the amount of gloom and death metal bands are signing up is off the charts. It's amazing.
Okay. Now, I was in a garage band debate a little bit. I think Patrick Baird was in there and Ron Ward was in there as well, because somebody came in, and I'm pretty sure they had this voice where they talk like this, and they had a complaint about the number of cover songs that were being posted.
I saw this, yeah.
So they said, please don't post cover songs in our group, only original songs, please. And I did respond to someone who was in the comment. I've got to say, I don't know who the someone was, but they were being pleasant about it. But they said, oh, yeah, and I said, cover songs can be a good way to learn about composition, arrangement, and recording. And they said, yes, but a better way would be to create your own original music. And I replied, well, the Beatles and Bob Dylan started off by playing covers, and I guess they did okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have to say anything because you know my answer, which is why I scrolled past that one, because I'm like, I don't need to have this conversation again. But yeah, like each to their own for starters. Like, if you don't want cover songs, don't listen to cover songs, and you do you, boo. But no, I actually. Scroll past. I fundamentally disagree, because I think that some of the best ideas you can get since two and a half years ago, since the big lockdowns all happened, and I've been doing a weekly happy hour show. I've learned something like 100 new, probably more than 150 new cover songs, and I've taken a lot of those things. I'm like, oh, I've never tried adding a B7 when I'm in C major. That's a cool idea because it's in a song, and then it actually enhances it. So you learn chord progressions, you learn how to do things, you learn different song structures. There's actually nothing bad about it. I guess the only bad thing could be is if you only ever do that and don't ever create anything. But even that, there's plenty of look at the people with million subscribers that do cover songs on YouTube. They're doing just fine and dandy. Thank you very much. So
look at you doing. First you were afraid, you were petrified. Hey?
Well, just today, thanks to BandLab, who are not sponsored of this show. Because when I thought about what do I do for this thing, I'm like, it's a lot easier for me to do a tutorial when I'm playing a song that everyone knows and that I know, as opposed to something brand new making up on the spot, like we just did there. As you see, when you fail, when you try to do your own original material, if I had pre-written a DistroKid song, it would have been fine.
So my thing is, I've written songs since I was about 9 or 10 years old, okay? That's a long time, folks. That's many decades.
That's like 60, 70 years, man.
I love the art of songwriting. I really do. I love that you express yourself. I love trying to find a different lyric, a way of saying something in a lyric that perhaps no one's used before. On the other hand, exactly as Pete says, when you go about sort of actually playing cover songs, especially, you'll go, oh, there's a chord I never use ever, and then you'll put it in your next song, and you've had the influence. Then it's great for expanding your narrow experience of music.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
I have to agree, Mike.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do that. Let's agree with each other. The world's full of so much conflict. I think everyone should just agree with me, and then everything would be fine. Now, moving. I do, Mike, just for peace. So, as long as you feel like you've won, that's all that matters, right? The basis of every good marriage. The basis of every good marriage. Now, anyway,
Toto's chicken's leaving. Sorry, Toto's life. Chicken is leaving.
Hey, so, Toto, thanks for being here. You take care. And was it a kangaroo or?
I don't know. We never quite got there. We hope your kangaroo, mouse, or chihuahua is doing well, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Whenever. Anyway, before we move forward, folks, don't forget a key signature and a few words for my version of a jingle for DistroKid. Now, I don't have the advantage of reverb and things, of course, like Pete. I have, but I can't be bothered to switch it on, to be honest. Anyway, we are going to move on to a cover song next.
Ooh, see,
There
there
you
was actually
see.
a reason for it. You're a genius.
You didn't realise it was a segue, you see. All the best segues you don't know. They're a segue. Anyway, this is... Hey. Lost Covers. Hang on. Oh yeah, the band, the group, the artiste is called Lost Covers.
Nice.
The song is called Pounding. Mark sent this in. Hi, Mark. He says, I recorded, mixed and mastered this track recently, Pounding, in Cakewalk, as a part of a fan's tribute album to the British band The Doves. I'm not familiar with the band, I have to admit. I'm sorry about
Doves.
that.
Yeah, neither am I really.
You're gonna Google it now, aren't you? I've seen
Well,
you
no,
Google.
there's one Dove song that I remember because but no, I wouldn't be able to tell you it.
Okay. The project is to raise some money for Mental Health UK and support the band after they cancelled their first tour for a decade due to frontman Jimmy's mental health struggles. I normally record my own songs and write more songs than I have time to produce, so the mixing tends to be compromised. You reviewed a song of mine a few months ago, and the verdict was good song, but needs some work on the mixing and dial back on the reverb. With this, I put more work into mixing. Doves are renowned for their complex, deeply layered and textured arrangements. Much of their work seemed too big for a challenge, whatever he says, to me. I'm sorry, Mark. My reading ability is quite poor, and there's quite a lot of reading to do here. I'll skip to the last paragraph. I would love some critical feedback, as this is the most effort I've put into a mix so far. Okay, this should be interesting, I think. Let's have a listen to this. I haven't heard the original. I probably won't listen to the original. I'm just going to listen to this as a mix and see how we think Mark has done.
Lovely.
Okay, you need to go absolutely big mental for this next one, please.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Rock and roll.
I'm going first on this one.
I was going to offer you to go first. 'cause
No,
that's
well,
just
you don't
some
need to
kind
offer
of
now,
gentleman
do
I
you?
am.
I'm a little torn with this one. I really enjoyed the track, by the way. Just right up my alley as a piece of music. I know yours as well, Pete.
Indeed.
Now, the reason I'm a bit torn is because, for me, this sounded like a live recording in a way. Like this could have come off of a mixing desk at a live recording. In many senses, it wasn't very perfect. And that's what I really liked about it, because I could have almost been at a gig there, jumping along. So there was a sense in which a few things were not very refined. Even the things that we would normally pick up on, somebody was saying about the bass wasn't punchy enough or something like that. And even the fact that was a bit out really sort of worked for me. It wasn't perfect. The vocals got a little lost here and there, the sort of way in which if this was a studio recording, you would be definitely riding the vocals, you would be, using automation, you'd be using compression to keep them on top. But just like a live gig, just when the band kind of really kicked in, they got a little lost, and I liked it. I don't know if I'd want to change that because there was lots of energy in this, and it's very hard to get energy into studio recordings. Very, very hard indeed, in my opinion. Now, in terms of some overall stuff, I think people were mentioning phasing with the drums. I can see what they're talking about, especially you could pick it up on the cymbals. I could pick up some oddness in the vocal a little bit as well. By the way, nice vocal. I don't know why. I could be wrong about this, but I reckon this has happened when they've exported it as an MP3. It just sounded like a bitrate thing or something, or it's just wasn't. It was got that streaming sort of nastiness about it. You're nodding your head there, Pete. I'll let you take over.
Oh yeah, no, that was the number one thing for me. Again, because I've listened to so many bad quality MP3s for so long that I think if that was an MP3 or an M4A file, it was probably a bitrate issue because there was something around, and it was almost like a high frequency kind of artifact crackle that was when the vocals were hitting hard, and it's almost like the overtones in the vocals, somewhere like 1 kilohertz or 2 kilohertz. It was just this kind of like sound that came through, and it didn't ruin it, but it was obvious and it was there. And I don't know, I'd love to hear the solo of that vocal and just see if that's actually in the vocal recording, because maybe it was something with the microphone, or maybe it was some digital clipping or something like that. The preamp was up too loud, but yeah, it sounded more like compression artifacts from a MP3.
Yeah, absolutely. So to Mark, who sent this in, you are well in the ballpark, in my opinion, in terms of the mix. I think that I'd be interested in a way to hear the original song, about how close it is. I did a recording with Susie once, which I decided not to release, which was really, it was a cover song, and I probably listened to the original way too much, and I ended up replicating it right across the board, really. And I decided for that reason not to release it. But in the process, gosh, I learned quite a few things about mixing a complex song, because I kind of had something to mimic, if you like. I had the finished product there. I still built it up from scratch, played all the instruments and everything myself, but then I ended up listening. I think that's a valid way of learning, and I'm expecting that if I heard the original of this song, that the similar thing might happen. Maybe it's really, really similar.
Yeah, I think so, because when I started sort of thinking about my feedback, and I'm like, there wasn't a lot of variation in the drums, like that 1 and 3 snare is really, really good, but changing it up a little bit would be cool as well, like in one of the sections, because it was very repetitive, I guess. Yeah. But that may be the vibe of the song, and that may have been exactly what they were going for, and more power to them if they were. So I know a lot of people comment on the drums, and I sort of agree with you that They were big stadium drums. Like, that's what it was. It was a big stadium drum sound, and I thought they did a good job with the dynamics of the drums. So there was a little pre-chorus bit where it did go down a little bit, but then it hit in the chorus so hard that, exactly as you said, if you were trying to make those vocals kind of sit more in front, you'd want to automate those up, or maybe use a little more compression just to make sure that they were poking through the mix, because they did get lost a bit in the choruses. Sounded really good in the verses as soon as everything kicked in. But the guitars were really nice. Guitar tones sounded great. I thought there was no issues with that at all. And I like even that little intro bit that came with it. I'm assuming the bit where they were like,
yeah. I was wondering about that, whether they nicked that off of one of the originals gigs.
But yeah, again, it got you in the mood for saying, hey, this is going to be like a live show. And I think at that point, you kind of forgive a lot of those things because you want it to be raw and have that energy. And I'll take energy over perfect compression and perfect mixing and perfect balance every day and twice on Sunday. So yeah, I'm a fan of that kind of live rock and roll sound, because rock and roll shouldn't be perfect. And this is exactly as we said in the last one, everything shouldn't be on a grid. A little bit of human touch here and there
absolutely
really helps. So, but I dug it.
Talking about imperfections and things not being on the grid and sounding live, let me do a jingle.
Yes. Was G minor was your key, was it?
Oh, bollocks, yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, okay, let me...
You're going to capo up to G?
I'm going to capo, of course I'm going to capo. So it sucks that we've got crappy internet in Australia and we can't be in time with each other.
I'd love to be able to like play some drums. Get a nice brush kit like I was saying before.
I know. Let me just turn this microphone around and fiddle around with that. I've turned my gate off. I use a gate normally because there's some sort of signal noise. I'm getting interference on the signal noise between... You don't need to know the details. I'm just waffling.
That's fine. Just
all right, what was the...
Padding for time.
Have we got some words in there?
I haven't seen Coolest Jingle Time. No, everyone's just talking about that. Great energy. Everyone's talking about the energy. Maybe you should put energy in there.
All right, let's get energy in there.
Yeah. Anyone else? Throw some other ideas here. Lumberjack, energetic lumberjack. It's got to be about that.
Cactus.
Cactus energy.
God, lumberjack cactus. Jeez. Sandwiches just come up as well. Wow.
Cactus sandwiches.
What's the word that has no rhyme?
Spaghetti.
Orange, isn't it? Isn't it orange that has no rhyme?
Possibly. Orange. Yeah.
I'm seeing spaghetti, beer.
Everyone's hungry. It is nearly lunchtime here. We're getting a bit peckish. Breakfast time for Mike. I'm going to shut up now and over to the wonderful talents of Mr. Mike Enjo.
If you're stuck in a sandwich, a big purple sandwich with some beer and spaghetti over here, I'm starving, I need something, I'll soon get to the point. I'll go... I'm sorry, the voice cracked up. I'll go to DistroKid, so eloquent, I'm starving now. I'll sing a song about a walrus, I'm also very Beatles. None of this is any good, is it? It's not usable, is it? It's not usable. Oh, DistroKid, we're singing in G minor about some beer and some sandwiches. It all looks very purple and a little bit orange. Oh, yeah. And it only cost me $19.99. Almost all the time, except when I use the link. Well, no, it's still $19.99. But Mike got some dollars out of it, which was a nice thing for you to do. Oh, DistroKid, I really could work on that one. I felt there was no rhymes in that anywhere.
No, it was very Bob Dylan. It was just stream of consciousness stuff going on there.
It was really.
And you will save yourself 7% off the first year on any DistroKid plan if you use Mike's special link down below. Just so.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not happy with that. I'm not really happy with that at all.
But we both, I'd give us both solid 6 out of 10s here today. We didn't hit it out of the park, but we gave it a red hot go, and I think effort is underrated sometimes. Got to give things a try.
I think what we might do next time is actually work on an actual composition. Like we'll have a little songwriting session.
There you go.
We'll have a little songwriting
if only there was
session.
a platform like BandLab that allows you to collaborate online in real time.
What we could do is write a song with suggestions from the audience. We'll do a songwriting session, and then we'll record it on BandLab on your show.
There you go. Crossover, mate.
We'll then fix the mix on this show, and we'll release it on DistroKid.
Oh wow! There you go.
There's an idea.
That'd be beautiful. Yeah,
that's why we're YouTubers, folks. That's why we're content creators. We've got the ideas.
Not always good ideas, but they're ideas all the same.
Indeedy.
That was fun. Gotta have fun. Yes. Music should be fun. People take it far too seriously, like Covers Bloke. You just need to relax a bit.
Covers Bloke.
Covers Bloke. That's his name. Yeah, Covers Bloke.
Yes. Well, he'll be very annoyed with you now. All right. Okay, let's do it. Let's go for the third song. And the person who sent in this song is actually in the live chat. That's if they stayed. I don't know that they were here earlier.
They make it through that song.
They were here earlier. And they're quite often here. They go by the name of, let's just bring up their name here. You can read it out.
Oh, it's Music Life Crypto. No one really listens. Well, if you're talking about cryptocurrency, no one really listens. if you're that guy that's just like, oh man, you see the newest NFT? Man, how many Dogecoin do you have? Be like, no, sorry. Did I just insult before they'd even heard a note? I insulted their name.
You may have done.
I'm sorry.
Music Life Crypto, who I got the name wrong, didn't I? I misspelt it the first time they were on the show. I don't know if you're on that one, Peter. There you go. There was a typo. We got it right this time. Can I call you Music Life? I don't want to call you Music.
Music?
That seems...
Oh, to the moon. See, they get it. They're self-aware. They're not a crypto bro. I like it. Okay.
Music Life Crypto says, we'd love your feedback on what can be improved or fixed. Story behind writing this song was listening to Bill Meyer. Was it Bill Meyer? Meyer, isn't it? You say his name. I've got mixed emotions about Bill. Sometimes I like stuff he says, and sometimes I think he's a bit of a dick. Anyway,
I don't even know who he is. I've got no idea.
He's an American comedian, talk show hosty guy. Bill Maher, is it?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I dislike that guy. If it's the guy I'm thinking of. I don't think so.
Anyway, I was listening to Bill Maher when he joked about how he only listens to music on CD and to artists that win Grammys.
Oh.
The joke was a pretense that the only ones that are good enough are on a record label and the rest of us on the web or YouTube, well, suck. Not good enough to be on CD or on a record label. I don't concur with this opinion. Most people would troll him by tweeting and writing nasty things to him on Facebook. I thought, why not just write a song about it and make a video? This is my best way. Oh, yeah, there was a video that came with this as well, which I'm not playing. Sorry, Music Life Crypto.
You made life harder for yourself somehow, Mike. You could have just played his video.
I could have just played his video. I had to spend an hour and a half rendering this yesterday. Anyway, he says, however, being an unknown, most likely the song will go into oblivion and no one really listens. That's the story behind the song. Oh, I feel sad now. I feel a little bit sad. Let's have a listen and see what advice we can give to Music Life Crypto about this mix.
I said my last goodbye. I feel pain. No one cares to listen. Want to say goodbye. No choice but to abide. I feel pain. No one really listens to my No one really listens. Just me. Just me. See you above the sky someday. Try to survive this ride. It's hard, but still I try to find a way. No one really listens to get the pain. No one really listens. Just me. Just me. See you above the sky someday.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Technical hitch there. Technical hitch.
I always get terrified when I just see my own face only come back after Mike's pressed some buttons. It never ends well.
I was enjoying that track so much there that I forgot to get my buttons ready. Anyway, yeah.
Love
Pete, you can go first again.
Cool. I love it. I love the backstory. I love the pretext, and then as Thomas Christ said, I was already in love with the idea and the concept of the song before I even heard it, and then the bass just it gets you excited. It gets you ready for it. Like the bass tone and the bass riff just sounded awesome, and then when that vocal came in, it's like I couldn't put my finger on the vocal. I kept listening to it and trying to work out who it sounded like, and I worked out at the end it's like a Peter Gabriel, Sting, Andrew Gold sandwich. It's like that 80s synth wave, but also a bit rocky kind of sound. And the drums with kind of the bit of that gated reverb sound on the drums as well, and then the backing vocals, like all of the stuff up front was really, really good. But what gave this the texture was those backing vocals that were out nice and wide, and that delay on the last word of come, that swimming around. Like, we said before, everything else was a little bit too on the grid and didn't have enough variation. Like with that, you got all your stuff down the middle, but then you just had this beautiful soundscape sort of echoing around on the outside, which wasn't distracting, but really complemented the sound. I was at the end there trying to find things I didn't like about it. Only thing I could find is at the start, the bass was a little bit out of time. So I think there was a couple of hits that were just not quite in time. I can forgive that on a bass sound like that because it sounded really cool and groovy. Vocal tone was good. Mixing was good. Quality of it, didn't hear any artifacts or any phasing or any clipping or anything like that.
No.
I'm a fan. I thought that was really cool. I dug it.
Cool. Because somebody stole one of my talking points here already. I'll just pop it up there. Darren Jones, I really like the fact this definitely sounds original. Yeah, that's what I was really digging about this. Apart from the bass line was really cool, and a few things really cool about this track actually. But I kept thinking to myself, this is a difficult one to completely pigeonhole. You know, in one genre or another. There was something about it was almost like electronic sounding at the beginning, and then it wasn't, and then that guitar came in, it sounded really nice. There was some unusual tones, they weren't typical tones.
Yep.
The vocal was recorded in a way for me, it was actually quite dry. And there was an element of it where I was like, oh, I wish that vocal was a bit more wet, but then again, it was adding to the original feel. I think often when we talk about fixing mixes, we're talking about norms in mixing, balances and things which are not.
Yeah.
It's actually quite tricky to be original in mixing, to push the boundaries a little bit. I think you could with a piece of music like this. I think it was in some ways there was bits of it which were not the normal kind of way you might mix it, but there was something very original going on. I liked it a lot. Music Life Crypto, I don't know your real name. You've got a good vocal. That's something you've got there, which is you've just got something about your voice which I really, really like. It's not perfect. I think it got up and down a bit in the mix here and there. There was some parts of it where it was a little bit in your face, so to speak. There could be a little bit of automation work and things done on the vocal, I think, and a few other things. It wasn't a perfect mix. It was. I would be thinking automation for this mix. It was going in and out of balance, right? For me. Now, my thought. I'm going to just throw myself out here on this one. There was a little chat going on my Facebook group. There's a link for that in the description, by the way. One of the best Facebook groups you'll come across. And I was looking for some new ideas the other day, and someone said, well, how about on Fix My Mix, you actually get hold of a mix and work on it a bit yourself, Mike, or you and your guests. And there's some technical issues in that. For me, anyway. I know Pete does this sort of thing all the time. But yeah, so Music Life Crypto, I would like to suggest that I was looking for a song, actually, to play with this idea. And I think I'd like this song to work on. I think it would be fun. I'd like to work on this mix, perhaps on a live show or something, or on 2 or 3 shows. I don't know. But anyway, so if you wouldn't mind hitting me up on the email again, Music Life Crypto, if you'd like me to do that, then I think that would be fun. Because I was thinking when this was suggested, and I think it was suggested by Mimo Japan, is I don't want to work on just any old song. It would have to be something that I feel, I'm into that. And I'm into this. I'm into this song. I really like it, the vocals especially, and the bass there. Yeah. So let's try and do that.
I think, whenever I've done that in the past, it's always been really interesting because people record things differently and you know what your tracks look like and sound like and act like and feel like. And then when you grab someone else's stuff, if you don't do a lot of mixing of other people, it's a great idea, even if you're not running a YouTube channel, like do some mix swapping, like share some projects with other people and see under the hood of what other people do, and they can do the same for you. And different ideas come out of it and you may mix it completely differently. Like that's the whole remix culture that we have in the world, is that some people will mix things completely differently, take the exact same source audio and make it a completely different song, which can sometimes be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's have some fun with that. Expect that to see. I don't think it's going to happen next week or anything like that, folks, but me and Music Life Crypto will take a look at that and I'll see about the technical issues I need to resolve. And
I'll give Mike a lesson. It's all about the mix minus. That's the biggest pain in the butt. Trying to get your audio from your DAW and your own audio separate but the same on the same stream.
Absolutely.
You'd think it would be simple, but it's actually a pain in the rectum. So.
I'm going to have to struggle with that, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out. Great show, Pete. Really enjoyed having you on. What's happening for you for the rest of the day? You got a day off or?
Yeah, so I get a little bit of downtime. It's the last day of the school term here, just for a bit of inside
Yes.
baseball stuff. So the kids finish early because they punish us by starting holidays by starting it even earlier than it usually is on a Friday. So I'm going to go and enjoy some lunch with my wife and then go pick up the kiddos. And then it's 2 weeks of family time. But of course, we'll have plenty of time to do stuff over on Studio Live today. So we've got Your Music Live coming up. We've got the happy hour and all the usual weekend stuff going on over the channel. So yeah, drop on by if you're new. If you haven't come over before, I know many of you have. Come on over; it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm going on a walk after this. A bit of a shout out. Well, it's sort of to yourself, because whenever I've ever spoken with you, and when we're not on a show, you're always walking somewhere.
Yes.
He's a walker.
I'm a walker.
A complete and utter walker is what Pete is.
Yeah, he texted me that the other day, and he got one letter wrong, and it was just really inappropriate. I'm like, tell me what you really think, Mike.
But a shout out also to Chris Salem. A few weeks ago, I had a chat with him about his daily routine, and he was saying that he starts every day off with a morning walk. And I was like, how do you do that and run a successful YouTube channel at the same time? Like, I always felt like I don't have time for anything. There's no time for things like walking or eating proper food or anything like that. And but given that I'm the age I am, and I thought I wouldn't mind living a little bit longer, I decided that now was the time. I am not in any way like a fitness fanatic or anything like that, folks. Not whatsoever. But for about the last 40 days now, I have been walking every single 40. No, that might be like 35 days or so. I've been walking every day. Very inspired by Chris on this, and I go out about 6 in the morning. For that, Pete, it's cold outside. People can't believe it gets cold in Australia. It's freezing.
Oh yeah,
but you get pretty hot by the end. Now, in the meantime, as a reward after I'd done it for 21 days, I bought myself a.
Oh, there you go.
You know, wait, you're supposed to do 10,000 steps, right? That's a lot. You have to do some walking to get 10,000, don't you? Eh?
Oh yeah,
You do that, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
How many steps do you do?
16,000 is my
16
is what I set myself at now. Yeah, yeah. But I walk a couple of hours a day. But again, I'm a mobile internet creator, so I just take my phone with me and I'm walking along the river and either talking to you or I'm answering comments or I'm getting video ideas together or I'm editing in LumaFusion on my phone. So mine is kind of work and walking at the same time.
You got to stop that, Pete. You got to stop that. You got to be in the now.
I do. That's on my work days. On my days off, as you know, unless I'm talking to you, I'm down walking. I'm playing Pokemon Go because I'm apparently a 12-year-old boy, and listening to podcasts and listening to tunes, and I have a good old time. But I could sit on my ass and do all those things. But the power of mobile, audiobooks, podcasts, like there's ways to entertain yourself and get out there. But I think, and in all seriousness, it does really help both your mental and your physical health. And what you were saying before of working yourself, 100% of the time, you'll find that you're only working at about 50 or 60% of your capacity. And if you're mentally tired and physically tired, you can work 12-hour days, but you might as well be working a 6-hour day at 100% capacity and then spending that other time with family, relaxing, walking, exercising. You're going to get just as much done and you're going to feel 10 times better.
What I've found is it does, I've stuck to it no matter what's been going on. It's been quite busy in this household in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But I've done it anyway. I've prioritized it as this will happen every day, no matter what's going on. And I've got to say, I feel that I've been working under difficult circumstances the last couple of weeks, but I still feel that it's been really beneficial for my state of mind. It sort of clears the decks. It sort of gets you going.
Becomes addictive in a good way. It's a good thing to be addicted to.
You
don't feel right. Like my wife knows. She knows if I start getting edgy and stuff, she's like, "Can you please just leave for like an hour, and I'll see you when you're back when you actually got your head back straight."
And the good news is when I walk to McDonald's, I don't feel so bad about it when I get there.
Well, that's the good thing. When I get back and I crack a beer at 5 o'clock on a Friday night and I've done 16,000 steps, I feel a little bit vindicated. I don't feel quite as bad about it. So
I bet you'd walk 500 miles. And you'd
walk 500 I would walk 500 more. Yep. When I'm havering, I'm out there havering with the best of them.
Havering.
Oh, no accents.
No.
I bet Patrick from the Garage Band Guide does some havering. Oh, I couldn't resist it.
You sound like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, he plums. No.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks. We've had a lovely time here today. We'll see you next week on Fix My Mix. Don't forget to send in your mixes. We'd love to hear them. Don't care what genre of music. Don't care if it's instrumental. Don't care if you've just started or if you've been doing it for 30 years. It's the Big I Don't Care show. Send any of your mixes in. Don't mind listening to them at any level. Thank you so much, Pete. Don't forget, folks, to check out Studio Live Today, Pete's channel. The link for that is down in the description, and we will